such distinguished individuals, the ambassadors of this company, and to know that, I'm getting thanks in the back of the room. I didn't expect that, so thank you guys. Next time I'll hide out the back door so you don't have to call me out. I thank you guys for coming out here. I guess I'll share with you just something very simple. And I thank you, Tara, for bringing your little one there. She's so precious. I have a 4-year-old boy. He's about to turn 4. And today, I couldn't be with him because I was on the road. But today, he got to get in his first karate class. And I got pictures of him taking karate and whatnot. For those of you not familiar with my story, my son has special needs. Just like I did growing up, I had ADD and dyslexia, and you'll tell by my speech tonight that I still got ADD and dyslexia. And then probably some more things for those of you in the health care industry that diagnosed me right here on the spot. But yeah, so he's my spitting image. He's 4 years old, and and he has autism. And autism is kind of they don't know how to control their emotions. And so we got him in karate today, and I got all kinds of great pictures of him, and it's really cool. But yeah, so, it's pretty simple. I'm 35 years old. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 19 years old. When I was a kid, I would go to my counselors in high school, and I was a troubled child. I lost my father when I was 13 to drug addiction. My mother suffered from alcoholism. My brothers and sisters were all caught up in various crime. And so at 13 years old, I was court-ordered to see a psychologist once a week. And I'd go to my psychologist, and they'd say, you're not going to be a doctor, because I didn't have good grades. And I couldn't pay attention for anything, right? And they're like, you're not going to be a lawyer, although I did study law, even at 13 years old. I was kind of on the other side. I had kids in trouble all the time. And I thought, well, all these people, they think they're so smart, telling me what I can't be. Who employs the doctors and lawyers? Because that's what I want to be. And I'll tell you today, proudly, I employ a lot of doctors, and unfortunately also a lot of lawyers. It's been an amazing journey. My journey with Visal started before Visal. It started when I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I would work all kinds of hours in the technology industry. That's my training. And I would literally put in, 14, 16 hours a day on my dream of being an entrepreneur. And I would compromise my health. In the technology centers, we put pizzas. We eat pizzas all day long, and junk food and sugars and all kinds of things in order for us to keep ourselves up, so that way we could code and do the projects we were working on. And by the time I was about 24 years old, I just sold my company, Sky Pipeline. Some of you may have heard of Covad Communications. They bought my company. I sold it for, I remember at the time, it was $1 million for every year that I was alive. So I was 24 years old, and I sold for like $25 million. And I was looking at myself and asking myself, what more do I want out of life? Because I'd achieved a pretty big objective for being a young guy without a high school diploma, without having completed college, and with having every teacher say I was never going to be a doctor or a lawyer, right? And so I said, what else do I need to work on? And it was simple. I was 260 pounds. Now, I wasn't a healthy 260 pounds. I was throwing up my back all the time. Any of you guys, men in the room here, you ever throw out your back? Some hands go up here. I would give you my pinky finger before I'd throw out my back. I mean, that's how bad and debilitating it was. And it got to the point where I'd throw it out, it got worse and worse. So I'd throw it out once, and then I threw it out again. And then next thing you know, I didn't go on a vacation I planned because my back was out, and I would have these shooting pains, and it was just a terrible thing. I'm 24 years old, right? So no 24-year-old should be having chronic lower back injuries. I went to the doctor. You know what the doctor said? The solution? Nope. They said spinal fusion. Right? Lower back spinal fusion. That was the solution. And I, of course, I'm an engineering-minded individual, so I started asking, questions about what spinal fusion, and there's some risks involved. What if the doctor's hand slides? What if, something bad happens? What if I don't repair correctly? And what compromises would I have to get that lower back in place so I didn't have to compromise my life all the time, right? And he said, well, you'll probably never play basketball again. And I used to, play basketball when I was a kid, and my aspirations were to continue playing that. He told me about the risks, and I said, well, what are the alternatives? He said, lose 60 pounds. So now, if you're 24 years old, you have all the money in the world, you have all the ambition in the world, or not all the money in the world, but enough to lose 24 pounds, right? Or 60 pounds, I should say. And I had all the time in the world. I said, all right, I'm gonna try to lose this weight before I give up on, the spinal fusion solution, or even try it. So I got really focused. I started taking all kinds of different products. I would take shakes that would just blow up in your mouth and taste like chalk. I would take shakes that I hated the taste of, and it was like I would sit there and have to mentally focus so I could get this stuff down. I would take so many vitamins, I would get full, right? So many different vitamins that I'd be full. I'd walk around with all this crap, and my friends would be like, "Are you a freak?" Right? But I was on a mission. I was gonna solve my back problem, so I was willing to make some short-term compromises. But what I realized, and just shortly after that, when Nick and Blake came into my life in 2005, which was only about a couple years after, but I'd already gotten down from, I was from 260 down to about 230. So I was on the path. I was starting to add muscle. I had a program, and I was one of those people that would put my flaxseed oil on the salad, and one of those people that all you guys know of, and you're just like, come on, that's just ridiculous. Who can live like that, right? A lot of people. It's not for everyone to try to do all that stuff. So when I sat down with Nick and Blake and our scientific advisory board, particularly Dr. Simon, I just said, here's some real simple things. The reason why I got heavy was because I ate fast food, right? Pizzas are pretty fast food, right? You know what I mean? It's faster than preparing it, and that was my favorite thing was pizzas, and then second favorite thing was chips and salsa, and then third favorite thing was just a bag of popcorn. I could get that down. Still to this day, I resist that bag of popcorn. But right, those were the habits I had. So I said I could solve these problems, these bad habits, if I replaced it simply. Some of you are smiling because I hit some hot buttons. Oh, let me tell you about ice cream. Let me tell you, I tell man, cookies and cream ice cream, I would put. Yeah, so there we go. Come on. Now you guys are opening up here. Now we're opening up. So it was real simple. I wanted products that tasted good. I wanted them to be convenient, and I didn't want to have to interrupt my entire life in order to, to achieve a balanced health. Now, I'm not perfect. I love, still indulging from time to time. I just know that I'm balancing that out with the right nutrients in my body through our shakes, through our cookies, through our other various products, energy drinks, and so forth. So, long story short, ADD included in this story. The reason why all of our products have similar properties, they taste good, they get you a result, they're affordable, was because I was the ultimate guinea pig. And then when I was sitting in the rooms with the scientists, I was saying, no, I know wheatgrass is good for you, but I'm not going to take it every day, right? You know what I mean? And it's hard to find every day, and you got to take time away from your kids, time away from the drive to work. You got to source that stuff. And I'm not going to grow a wheatgrass crop in my kitchen, right? You guys understand the compromises that we have to make to have good health in our society? Now, so for those of you who want to go big picture here, because I get to think a lot in my role, think about this. Think about how many compromises a household has to make regarding their health. How many of you know, I have an office in Detroit. I'm a resident of Detroit. I spend my time there. How many of you know how much a pomegranate costs in Detroit? $4 to $6. Now, how many of you, who knows the cost of a pomegranate here? Because they grow them close by, Bakersfield. 99 cents. Or free, because your neighbor's got it one in the backyard, right? Now, but think about this. How many of you know that a pomegranate's got some good nutrients in it? No one's going to argue about there's some good things in that pomegranate that every child should have access to, right? So why does a kid in Detroit, our poorest community in the United States, why does that kid have to pay $5 for that same quality nutrient that you guys are paying 99 cents for? Right? Why? Because they're far away from the food source. And as we industrialize and civilize, we get further and further away from the food source. How many of you guys have been here and seen these lands that were once orchards turned into office malls and office parks, right?